We got another Prismatic Titan build, and the biggest problem with Prismatic Titan is there's just not a whole lot going on with the subclass or the class items. But one thing that really made Titans viable this season is Hazardous Propulsion. Hazardous Propulsion is insane. It is incredibly powerful, and it's probably one of the best Titan exotics. Literally just free extra damage for any rockets or rocket sidearms. Hazardous Propulsion has the perk Danger Close, which reads, weapon precision hits or final blows have a chance to load a kinetic Exodus rocket. Activating your class ability fires loaded Exodus rockets. Damaging targets with Exodus rockets temporarily increases the damage you deal with all other rockets. And while that does not sound insane, a couple things that make it insane are weapons like Indebted Kindness, Aberrant Action, the Call, and even the exotic Buried Bloodline. All of these make this incredibly powerful, and that's because these weapons can get precision hits, so it gives you a stack of Exodus rockets, but if you get a precision hit, you're probably going to kill whatever ad you're shooting at, which gets you a kill. So every single precision kill you get with a rocket sidearm is going to give you 2 Exodus rockets, making it super easy to get those back. You're also going to want to run thrusters. Thrusters allow you to consume your class ability super fast, firing off those rockets as fast as you can. Another thing I recommend is Ginger's Lash. When you use it on your thrusters, it basically creates a suspending burst in your general area, and it is also incredibly powerful. Makes it really easy for enemies not to be able to get away. So you will be able to use your thrusters, you can nuke champions with your rockets, you can clear out ads with your rockets, and you're just going to want to get as many stacks of that bonus rocket damage as you can. Anything that you don't kill in your immediate vicinity will be strung up with Ginger's Lash and will be suspended. You can then use Thunderclap, my melee ability of choice, and kill those enemies that are stuck there. And since you don't have a barricade, I have Glacier Grenade selected, and that is purely for the fact that you need cover sometimes, and Glacier Grenades are just that, with giving you the ability to use your class ability as fast as possible. With Glacier Grenades, you will also be able to throw down a Glacier Grenade and Thunderclap it, and it will completely shatter the crystal, killing any enemy nearby. Anytime you hit an enemy or kill an enemy with Thunderclap, it is going to activate Facet of Dawn, which is going to make you radiant. While you are radiant, your ability final blows grant bonus darkness energy. Also, while you are radiant, if you have any kind of buff with Facet of Hope, you are going to regain your class ability energy more quickly. So Facet of Hope is going to give you that ability energy faster, and then that Darkness Transcendent energy is going to be from Facet of Sacrifice. Since we are getting up close and personal with Drender's Lash, as well as the rockets and just thrusting in general, we have Facet of Protection to give us some bonus resistance. I'm also using Facet of Balance, which is going to grant us rapid light kills, and then it's going to give us grenade energy when we get rapid dark kills. And then finally, I have Facet of Defiance, which is more so for finishers, but I am using it just because of that bonus 10 recovery. But since you are up close and personal, it isn't impossible to get a finisher, and if you do, the super that we are running is Twilight Arsenal, because 1, it is incredibly powerful, and 2, whenever used with Facet of Defiance, it is going to make nearby enemies volatile, and volatile plus your Thunderclap melee to Jolt does some insane amount of damage to any kind of ads in the general area, even in in-game content. And in this footage you can see it's pretty simple. You just want to get precision, final blows with any rocket sidearm, and it's going to give you stacks of those Exodus rockets. You can see those Exodus rockets do a ton of damage to this ogre, and they're insane. And this is going to give you bonus damage to your rocket launchers, and it also gives you bonus damage to the Omega Strike missiles from Grand Overture. So the exotic that you want to run is really dependent on how you want to play. Grand Overture is really powerful, and it can really do some damage in certain content, especially if you can prime up those missiles to get up to 20 stacks. Granted, if you die, you do lose those stacks, so it does come with a cost. There is that option, or you can just run Buried Bloodline, which is going to give you more survivability due to the fact that it grants Devour on kill, and then it also is going to weaken targets as well. And since this is more of a class ability spam build, I do have 3 other weapons I'd like to recommend. But before we continue, I just wanted to let you guys know our brand new partnership with Advanced. Go to advanced.gg and use code CRIM10 at checkout for 10% off. And Advanced is bringing back one of their all-time favorite energy flavors, strawberry shortcake. It's returning today. As you watch this, it should already be live. So click on the link down below and use code CRIM10 at checkout for 15% off for the next 24 hours. Let's get back into the video. Those being the Call rocket assisted sidearm that has strategist in the first column, and then whatever damage perk you want in the final column, and then Bold Endings, the brand new stasis hand cannon, also from the Pale Heart, comes with strategist. You can also get demolitionist in that final column, as well as something like headstone if that is up your alley. And then finally we have aberrant action, which has access to strategist in the first column, and in the final column you can get a perk like incandescent, or you can go for more ability energy with demolitionist. I have 2 versions that you've been seeing throughout this entire footage. One is the Bold Endings with Forbearance and Grand Overture. Bold Endings has Strategist Demo. I'm getting back grenades, I'm getting back my class ability, and then I have Forbearance, which is going to have Demo and Wellspring with its Indomitability origin trait, which reads that final blows with a light subclass grant grenade energy. So this basically gives me constant uptime on my grenades whenever I get a kill with that, and then since I am running glacier grenades, I can just throw them, shoot down Forbearance, and shatter all the enemies with it. The other version of this build I like to use is going to be the Call in the kinetic slot with strategist, of course, and then damage perk of your choice. I personally went with One for All, and then your Buried Bloodline for your energy weapon, which is going to give you Devour. It's going to give you those rocket assisted kills, and then Crux Termination 4 as my heavy of choice, just because it has slide shot explosive payload. It allows you to dump those as fast as possible, and the hazardous propulsion does have a timer on it, so this just makes it as easy as possible. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The loop is simple. Precision final blows, use your class ability, dump rockets, dump Grand Overture, keep using your sidearm to help nuke champions, whatever. It's really, really good. You also have on top of it Twilight Arsenal. Whenever you throw that, it's going to weaken enemies. So you can throw that super, use Exodus rockets, shoot your rockets, the enemies weaken, they're not taking more damage from your rocket. And then if you are fighting a boss that you can damage with a melee, you can get Radiant with Facet of Dawn, which will give you more damage. And then you can probably use Shield Throw if you need a little bit more range for that melee, and then you can also swap out one of your abilities with Facet of Courage, and that is going to basically allow your void abilities to do more damage whenever they're afflicted by a darkness debuff. And since Glacier Grenades won't really do anything, you'll want to go Shackle. So the loop would be Shackle Grenade into your Shield Throw. You have now gotten the enemy slightly weaker. Your Shield Throw now does more damage because of the debuff that they have on them, and then you're going to be granted Radiant. Go ahead and throw your Twilight Arsenal to weaken the enemy, and class ability and dump rockets. That is pretty much the idea for a DPS phase with this, and that is a lot to do damage, but it does do decent damage. I went with Unbreakable as my final aspect. You can use Diamond Lance since you're going to be shattering enemies with Glacier Grenades, you're going to be using Thunderclap, you're going to be suspending enemies with your class ability with Drenger's Lash, you're also going to be killing enemies with your Transcendent Grenades, so there is a lot that you can do there to create Diamond Lances, so that is something you can use, plus that gives you another source of putting a Darkness debuff on an enemy if you did want to run Facet of Courage. Anyways, that's it for me. This is probably one of my favorite builds. I definitely enjoyed the last one that I posted a lot more in terms of how useful it is for just everything. This one, really you have to play a specific way. The other one is more just spam abilities. This one's more weapon focused, and I much rather use abilities constantly. That's why I love Hunters with their dodging and Liar's Handshake builds that they have going on right now. But this one is really good, especially for DPS. It's better than the last one. And I do have a ton of fun using Forbearance and shattering these crystals. Anyways, that's it for me. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. Click the notification bell so you know if I make new videos, because I make new videos all the time. And I hope to see you guys in the next video, whatever it may be.